If recruiters aren't supportive or on my side, who should I actually be reaching out to for meaningful connections? Excellent question. Let's start with the basics. Do you know what a recruiter is? Do you know what a hiring manager is? A hiring manager is simply a manager. Okay, that's what they are. So think of managers. If someone has the title manager in a company, let's say in an organization, that usually means they're managing something. So they're managing either assets or projects or money or people, right? Or some combination thereof, right? That's what managers do. They're put in charge of something. You get a lot of introverts who are managing assets and managing money and managing things like this, right? Projects. And then you get a lot of sort of extroverts and introverts who are managing people. In terms of getting a job, we care more about those that are managing people, right? Because they probably are the ones that are looking for people. And we want to be the person that they're looking for, right? So we're looking for people who manage people. So someone who runs a department and they supervise some employees, right? The example I've used before is like, say, you have an accounting department in some company, right? And that accountant, that department is run by a manager. It's overseen by a manager, a functional manager. Okay, they oversee the accounting department. They're probably going to be some kind of senior accountant, right? That is managing the accounting department. Now, who are the people that work in the accounting department? They're probably accountants, right? So you have a group of accountants that all report to a senior accountant, right? And the senior accountant is responsible for doing all the accounting type stuff in the company, okay? So whenever there's accounting type tasks that need to be done, they're sent over to the senior accounting manager, who then is responsible for getting them done, right? And what they will do is they will assign it to some of their underlings, like the people who work in the accounting department, the accountants, right? He'll say, okay, you 3 people are responsible for doing this. And, let me know if you have any problems, but I expect you to be done by Friday, right? Okay, so that's the manager of the accounting department. Now, what happens is that the accounting manager is aware of like how much accounting jobs need to be done, and they're responsible for doing it. And if they find that like, look, everybody else that's giving me jobs, you're sending accounting jobs my way, I can't get them all done with only 10 people. I have started running my department on overtime. I've been paying overtime to my accountants so they can stay late, so they can handle this volume of work, right? But the thing is, I keep getting an even bigger volume of work being thrown my way. There's no way we can get it done with only 10 accountants. If you're expecting this to be done by these deadlines that you're giving me, we just need another couple of employees here. I need to hire 2 more accountants to handle this kind of workload, especially when you tell me that all this new work you're throwing my way is going to be a permanent thing. Every month, we've got to now do this. Okay, I need 2 more employees. Now, my department gets a budget, and I have some authority in how we spend that money. We can pay for new software or, new tools, new computers, whatever. But I need 2 more employees, and it is within my budget to hire 2 more employees. So I'm making the decision, we need to post 2 more jobs. We need to hire 2 more accountants. Okay? So what happens then is that chief accountant becomes the hiring manager. They're looking for 2 people who are fully qualified accountants that can do this work that will report to them. Right? Now, this person is an accountant. They are not experts in how to find candidates and how to do job interviews and what all the labor laws are and, what compensation strategy is, how do you do that? That's not their background. Their background is accounting, right? But the problem is hiring someone involves you to get into all those different areas. You need to know what the labor laws are. You need to conduct job interviews where you know what questions are legal, what questions are not legal, things like this. They don't know that stuff. So what they often do is they place a call to the HR department. And in the HR department, you'll have a sort of subgroup that deals with recruitment and selection, right? And these are where you find recruiters, HR people that specifically know how to get talent, like where the talent is, how to attract the talent. And then they know all labor laws. They know how to do job interviews. They know how to vet people. They know how to do background checks. They know how to onboard people, all that kind of stuff, like all that HR stuff, right? So the senior accountant says, okay, listen, I need to fill 2 vacancies, right? So maybe come over and give me a hand. Can you do some work for me and assist me in this, right? And that's where you get the recruiter and the hiring manager. That's where those 2 roles are. That's where they come from, right? Now, your question was about connecting with recruiters. So your question is who can help me if not recruiters? Well, who's the person that's actually hiring? It's the hiring manager. They're the one that realizes that they need to hire. They're the ones that understand better than anyone what they're looking for, right? The hiring manager knows why we're even hiring these people. It's because we need them to do this specific work. So they would have the best idea of the type of people that would work out best in that role, right? The recruiter is kind of a grunt. They're just sort of, pardon my lingo, but they're a servant of the hiring manager. They're told by the hiring manager, I need you to go out, I need you to find me 2 people, and those 2 people need to have this, and this. Find me some qualified candidates that have those things, and then bring them to me. You set up the interviews, you get them down here, and I want to be in the interviews. I want to have a say on which one we pick, but I want you to present me with say 5 or 6 people that all have those things, and I will select the person that I want to work with. Because whoever we hire is going to work with me every day. And I want to get someone that I know I'm going to get along with and it's going to work out. So it's the hiring manager that is really the person that you need to talk to. Imagine if right at that moment, when the hiring manager said, I need to hire some accountants, before they even call the HR department and say, can you give me a hand with this? Imagine if you had sent them a message, or you had met them, or they knew about you, and you said something to the effect of hello, I'm a fully qualified accountant. I know about your company. I know you do this work. I'm great at doing that. And I also get along with you really well. And I'm looking for something right now. If ever you want an accountant, let me know. Imagine if they knew that right at that moment. Well, then instead of calling the HR department to saying, maybe give me a hand with filling this position, maybe they just call you and say, hey, why don't you come down? Let's talk, because we may have something. And if the hiring manager meets you and gets to know you and sees that you're fully qualified, you have a nice conversation about accounting and methods and things like this and all the ins and outs, and they see, okay, you know your stuff and you're available and we get along, maybe I should just hire you. Maybe what I'll do is I'll tell HR, listen, I want to hire someone. Can you do all the paperwork, do the background checks? Unless you see any major red flag, let's get them hired. Let's get them started here so I can get on with the work I got to do, which is doing all these accounting chores that I've been told to do, right? That's my job. That's what I need to do. I don't have time for any more of this HR crap sitting in job interviews. That's not what I do. I'm responsible for doing all this accounting work. I got to get it done. So I want this person onboarded. I want them hired, and I want to get rolling immediately. So that's what's going on at the employer, right? So your question, who should I reach out to? Well, the answer is hiring managers. Who are hiring managers? They're any manager that oversees people that presumably at some point will be hiring for their department. They manage people come and go, and also certain departments expand. So when that happens, it would be good that they knew about you, right? That's who you should reach out to. Now, these people by definition are at least one level above you, right? They're not like your peers. They're above you. They're either one level above you, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So that's who you should be able to reach out to. If you learn how to reach out to those people and do it in such a way that it's not inappropriate, it's professional, it makes perfect sense, that can open up a lot of doors. And so that's the purpose of networking. There's many ways to do this, right? For a start, you could do it over LinkedIn. You could do it in person. You could go down to events. And there's many, many ways of doing it. But that's what networking is. For them to be aware that you exist, that you have certain abilities, and that you're looking. You're available. Right? And for them to know that they also like you and get along with you. All of that is like the whole networking thing, right? So that's, hopefully that frames maybe who you should reach out to, the types of people you would want to reach out to.